All right, so let's get started tonight. So as I said, my name is Leslie Nance. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist, a certified holistic cancer coach. I am a 7-year cancer survivor, and I am most interested in helping you make your body the most inhospitable environment to cancer and disease possible. So thank you guys so much for being here. I do these talks on Tuesday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time. And there are various subjects. Most of them are mindset subjects, but I'd love to know if you guys would like to see like some sort of like, hi Jill, like some sort of quick cook or some sort of demonstration in the kitchen or anything like that. Tell me if that interests you at all. I just love to know that piece of information. So tonight we're going to be talking about committing to being healthy and why it is so hard, even when we're staring down the barrel of a gun like cancer, right? A lot of people have a hard time committing to being different in their health, thinking about their health differently, eating differently, doing mindset work. Thank you, Paulette. Paulette's right in. Yes. Gail is like right into yes, please. Okay. Awesome. I'm glad I asked the question. But it is, a lot of people have a hard time making these switches. And there are some primary reasons that I have noticed over the years that, hi, Anne-Marie, the years that I have been coaching people through cancer. And then, of course, my own journey about why that is, why we have such hard time in the face of disease. Hi, Randy. Oh my gosh, it's so great to have you and Donna live here tonight. Yay! That means that you're home or something like that, which really makes me happy. So it's good to see you. But why is it so hard to make those commitments when we're dealing with something? Let's just use cancer as an example because I'm a cancer coach. But I see all the time that people are having a hard time adjusting to these new ideas about being healthy. And so I want to talk about what I have observed the reason is. And then I also want to talk about giving you some tips about maybe how to correct that thought process if this is you, if you are struggling in this arena. So thank you for everybody that's here. I hear you loud and clear on the cooking segment. The reason that bug is put in my ear is because I just did a cooking class at Natural Grocers here locally in Dallas, Fort Worth. Sorry, I just ate dinner. Apologize. But I had salmon and sweet potato and green beans. It was amazing. I pan-seared. Okay, anyway, it was really good. So I just did this cooking class, this live in-person cooking class at Natural Grocers in Hearst in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And so many of you reached out asking me if it was going to be recorded and if I was going to show this. And the answer to those is no, because in that particular situation, you have to sign all kinds of stuff to not that you're going to film, and it just becomes such a hassle. And anyway, too many hoops to jump through, and I need simple. So in my life needs to be simple because I am constantly jumping from thing to thing. So tonight, why is committing to health so hard? Why do we have such a hard time staying on track? Why do we have such a hard time committing to it in the first place, even in the face of cancer? So tell me if this sounds anything like you or something that you are dealing with, right? So number one reason that I have observed is that you're afraid of commitment. For some people, that means afraid of an investment in their health. And I'm talking about financially, I'm talking about mentally, I'm talking about emotionally, I'm talking about time-wise. You wouldn't believe how many people I have talked to about my protocol and invited them to come in to be coached, right? You're welcome. To be coached. And they say things to me like, oh, I don't have the time for that. Or I don't like to cook, or I don't have the money for that. And they'll tell me 100 times over and over again in the course of that phone call, this is exactly what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I want. But then it gets down to making the commitment and they don't do it. And I'm always shocked. You must understand that I'm always in like full shock mode. I'm like, really? I mean, I didn't have time or money or anything to do half the things that I did to solve my problem, but I was willing to get resourceful and figure that out. So, what it boils down to is that it's a fear of that initial commitment in general. That typically stems from cancer bossing you around. That typically stems from the idea that maybe it's not enough, or maybe I can't follow through. Maybe I don't want to make a huge investment because I'm afraid that I won't be able to complete, or I won't do the work. I hear it a lot, right? There you go. Jody's saying change is difficult sometimes, but when your life depends on it, you just do it, right? That's how I felt. You just do it. You just make that commitment. You jump in with both feet and you decide what's important. So that's one thing that I found. The other thing that I found is that, and I just kind of mentioned this, but I found that people feel like it may not be enough. And so the human mind feels like that it has to be complicated to be, and sometimes even painful and difficult for it to be worth it or for it to work. And the truth is that healthy is not hard, but the commitment to healthy can be excruciating. Making the time to do the work, making financial investments, finding somebody to help you, doing the mindset work, which is typically, most people are like, let's change the diet, let's change the diet, let's change the diet. And we get to the mindset and they're like, brakes on, full halt. Some of you that are my clients know what I'm talking about. They get to that part and it's like, oh, I don't want to do that part. Right. And sometimes it's opposite. Sometimes I have people that are like all into the mindset. We get to the diet and they're like, right. But where you focus your attention, your energy will flow. What you are thinking, you create more of. So if you're working on finding solutions to a problem, as opposed to just being ticked off about the problem and going, oh, well, I don't want to make that change. I don't want to make that commitment. I don't want to do that thing. Then that can feel very, very difficult. And I get it all the time. People, wow, being healthy is expensive. It's your health. If you thought for 1 second that you were only ever, when you turned 16 years old, you were ever going to get just one car, and you were never going to get another car in your entire life, that was the only car you were going to get, how would you treat that car? Would you make the investment? Would you spend the time? Would you take the energy to keep it going good and running well? Yes, is the answer. You would. How is your body any different? You get one. In this lifetime, you get one physical being to go around in, and that's it. And when it's over, depending on what you believe in. We won't go down that road because it doesn't matter. I'm talking about what's happening here on this planet, right? Gail says, I was afraid not to know what I needed to do, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that, actually, Gail. It's a good point that you bring up. The other thing that I see that happens is that you're going too fast. People get diagnosed with cancer. The first thing that they think of is, I need to change my diet. The first thing they think about diet is that I need to dump sugar, I need to dump meat, and I need to eat a whole bunch of vegetables. And then they wind up feeling worse. And they're like, I'm eating healthy. Oh my gosh, it must be the cancer. Some of you have done that here. I'm not talking about anybody specific. I did it. And you wonder why. Why is this so hard? Why does it have to be so hard? Why does it have to be so expensive? Why does it have to be so this, so that, so whatever? It's cancer. Do you want to the only question you should be asking is, do you want to get rid of it or not? We're not talking about bumping your head and having a bump on your head here. We're talking about something that could potentially kill you. The only question you should be asking yourself is, do you want to have it or do you not want to have it? It's not about what links you will go to, but you get an overwhelm. You try to make too many changes too fast, and then you feel frustrated or you feel confused and out of your mind because you're not sure what to do next or who to trust or what to think about, right? You're welcome, Paulette. I got nothing but boldness and honesty. That should be, some people wear shirts that say, like sexy, or you've seen the shorts or the sweatpants that say juicy on them from that brand Juicy Couture. Mine should say bold. Right? Jennifer's like, I know what my answer is. I know what your answer is too, Jennifer. Bye-bye, Cancer. That should be the only question that you have. Do you want it or not? You don't, I'm pretty sure. So what are you going to do to ensure that that happens? So those are the things that I find most often. Right? Oh, goodness. Sorry, Paulette. I took that one and ran with it. Oh, goodness. So, sorry, everybody. Oh, I have t-shirts that say Cancer Boss on them, but maybe I need like hashtag bold, honest, like run away. It's like my husband. If you think that your butt looks big in a pair of jeans, do not ask my husband if he thinks that they do, because if they do, he will tell you. I know that firsthand. I like that kind of honesty. I'd rather him tell me that than me leave the house with my butt in a big pair of jeans, or my big butt in a, making my butt look big in a pair of jeans. So, right. See you later, Cancer. I love that. Anne-Marie says, being in your wing has made me realize that health is a priority. Found resources to cover expenses. Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get to that in just a second. We're going to talk about that very boldly tonight, actually. But those are the things that I found. The top 3 things that I find. 1, that you're afraid of commitment. You're afraid of making the commitment to time or to finances or to, even to yourself. I have a lot of women that come to me that they feel guilty about. They have cancer and they feel guilty about investing in themselves because, they're not used to doing that. They're used to giving to everybody else. But to make a bold investment in themselves, they're like, oh, I don't know if I should do that. And it's hard. It's a hard decision for them. And actually, sometimes it's that mess that's got them in the trouble in the first place, right? So sometimes it's a fear of commitment to yourself, to your checkbook, to your dinner plate, to, the time that it takes to learn a new process like this. Sometimes it's a being afraid that it's not enough, that you're not doing enough to solve the problem. And so you want something that's really complicated and is really overstructured and is really, like in your face, making these huge, massive changes because it makes you feel like you're doing something. But ideally, not ideally, but sometimes it's getting your body completely out of balance and actually making it harder for you to fight cancer. Case in point, fad diets, a lot of these fad diets that are going around that they're trying to link it to cancer, saying it's great for cancer. Oh my gosh, they're so scary. They freak me out. I know a lot about physiology and anatomy and biology of the human body. And I can tell you that most fad diets that they are showing for cancer is dangerous. It is just flat out dangerous. If you starve your body of carbohydrates, like in the keto diet, and you think that you're starving out cancer cells, your cancer cells are going to find something else to eat. They'll eat the proteins and fats. You can't starve them. That's not how it works. It's damaged DNA. It's going to find a resource for energy, whether it is glucose or fat or protein. And you can't eliminate all of those or you would die. Right? Hi, Melody. All right. And so that's one of the things. You get really confused. You feel like it's not enough. You overcomplicate things. You want it to be overcomplicated because then you feel like it's more, like more is more. It's not the case. And so you get yourself in overwhelm. That I see that a lot. And then the third thing is that you're going way too fast. You're making too many changes too fast because you're in emergency mode, because you think that, you know, you gotta fix this problem right now, because we think about it as our diagnosis. We get into diagnosis mode, which means that we think about, oh, we've been diagnosed, so cancer just showed up. It's probably been in your body a long time and you weren't making any changes to do anything. So it's okay if you take a little time to make some good decisions and to make some good changes over a period of time. Most of the time I work with clients between an 8-week and a 12-week period, and we're making slow changes over that time. And then they go into a mentorship program if they want to, and then we're working 6 months to solidify those changes. Slow changes over a long period of a time are a lifestyle change. Fast periods and fast changes in a short period of time are fad diets and are getting you out of balance and creating more trouble than they're worth. So here's my tips. Hi, Betsy. It's good to see you. Right? Here's my tips for you guys. Number 1. You need information you can trust. This speaks to the last thing that I was just talking about. You need information that you can trust. I'm sorry, the second thing I was talking about. You need to find a trusted source. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all. I'm not for everyone. There's some of you here tonight that I've told you that I couldn't help you one-on-one, or that maybe you didn't even need my help. Pointed you in a direction and told you to go that way. You know, there's a lot of you here tonight that are my clients or have been my clients. So you need to find something that you can trust. Where you place your energy, where you place your attention, your energy will flow. What you think of in your thoughts, you create more of. And so you need something that you can trust. You need somebody or something that I'm hoping it's somebody, because something makes me nervous. There was just a big discussion on Real Answers about your cancer, and I had to put the kibosh on it today because people were talking about ingesting peroxide, and I was like, no, sorry. I know when I hit my table, my microphone makes a horrible noise. I apologize. It's because it's attached to my microphone's right here, and it's because it's attached to my desk, and it makes this terrible vibration, and I try not to do it, but it's really hard not to bang on the table. So, I just had to put the kibosh on it because it's dangerous. It's a dangerous protocol that could kill you. Ingesting too much hydrogen peroxide or over a long period of time can actually denature your cellular activity and make things worse than better. And so it's a hard pass for me. It's a hard no for me. And that when we think about that. So, but this is the thing. We all go on Google. All go on. So tonight I was talking about pan searing some salmon. And I said to my husband, I was like, I need to go find a video on pan searing salmon because I don't think I did it right. It was the first time I'd ever tried it. I can't believe that, but it's true. And so I usually just oven cook it. And I was like, I need to figure this out, and I can Google it. And I was thinking, this is what my clients do. But you're not doing it with salmon. You're doing it with your life. You're going on Google and reading like an article or two, or you're cherry picking information that suits you to heal your body. That freaks me out. It should freak you out when you think about it. You need a trusted source. You need somebody that can show you the way. That's their job. Would you take your car the only one you get for your whole life? Would you take that car to a shoe repairman? Would you Google it and say, oh, I think I can rebuild my transmission? Probably not. Some of you may, but probably not. And some of you that did would be successful at it, and the others would make a huge mess of it. There's always going to be a few people that have a success story from something that they did. You can throw a stone and hit it. But when they make blanket statements that this is the thing that fixes the thing, I would be really super, super cautious about those sorts of things, especially when it includes supplements or massive amounts of juicing or hydrogen peroxide, our dog dewormer. People are just going and buying dewormer at the freaking grocery store and taking it. Your cancer did not start for lack of dog dewormer in your body or lack of hydrogen peroxide in your body. The imbalance did not come from something like that missing. It came from being out of balance, either in your mindset or in your physical world or in your stress world or your spiritual world or trauma. Biologically, none of us are missing dog dewormer in our body. None of us, or hydrogen peroxide for that matter, or loads of juice. So you need to find information that you can trust, that you can lean into the wisdom that feels right to you. And I will tell you, none of that lies in the extreme. This is way easier than you think it is. Ask any of my clients. The change part is difficult, but the way we change is not. Number 2. Whew, that was like a big soapbox. Like I just had like a 10-foot soapbox I was just standing on. Number 2, you need a plan, you need accountability, and you need trust. It's kind of what I just said, but I'm saying it in a different way. But really, it's about a plan. Not only making a plan, but sticking with the plan, right? I talk to so many people that have tried a million different things to heal, and none of it works. Or they've done something and they don't trust it enough, and they're healed. They're going through life. They're just fine. They're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years past their cancer diagnosis, but they don't trust this thing that they were doing enough to stop looking over the shoulder. They're constantly looking over their shoulder, thinking that cancer is going to return. That's no way to live. I talk about cancer every single day, but I never think about it in my own body because I know that I'm doing the work to make it inhospitable to cancer and to disease. So I don't need to worry about that. I know what I'm doing is correct for me. I don't ever mistrust it, ever, 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 ever. That's what you need. You need to stop looking over your shoulder, looking for that next thing that might make it so that you may never have cancer again. You need to learn to start to trust your body and what it was designed to do. Your body's not designed to be sick. Your body's designed to be well. It's designed to never have cancer again, if you give it the right information to do so. And that's not dog dewormer, and it's not peroxide, and it's not massive amount of juices or supplements. It's not any of those things. Juice has its place. Some of my clients are juicing sometimes, but it's not a lifestyle. Some of my clients take supplements sometimes when we're trying to fix something, but it's not a lifestyle. And you may be scratching your head going, well, that's not what that guy over there said that charged me $149 to go through his course. Did he ask you what kind of cancer you had? Did he sit down with you and say, what kind of cancer do you have? What are you struggling with? What kind of foods do you like to eat? How does your family feel about your cancer? What are your big plans? What are you going to do when you don't have cancer anymore? Because if they're not, then they're not your person. They're not your people. Some of you are going to say, oh, I can't afford that kind of personalized attention. Yes, you can. I have people that are on disability. I have people that have had to stop their job. I have people that had to take out a loan. I had people that have to ask their brother, sister, uncle, whatever, to help them. Yes, you can. The only question you should be asking yourself is, do I want this or do I not want this anymore? Talking about cancer. The third thing that I recommend is that you hire a professional, which kind of all wraps up together, right? Thank you, Jody. Thank you, Anne Marie. I love you guys, right? all this like wrapped up together in this big giant ball is that you need to find a professional to help you. Whatever it is that you're not comfortable doing in your life. No, let me say this. Whatever it is that you were trained to do, I'm sure you do it very, very well. Whether it's a teacher, whether you're an educator, whether you are an attorney, whether you are a car mechanic, whether you are a motivational coach, whether you are a mom, whatever you are, whatever you've been trained for, I'm sure you do it very, very well. And people come to you for your expertise. They come to you for your wisdom. People rely on you. If you're a mom, your kids rely on you for you to have this figured out. If you're a lawyer, I want you to be the best that I can get if I needed you. If you're a nurse or a doctor, I want you to be good at your job. And I'm hiring you for that purpose. You need to find, if you are going to do things naturally, if you are going to figure this out, then you need to find somebody that can help you. And a lot of times, if you're going the natural route, even if you're marrying it with medical practices, your insurance is not going to cover it. So you better find a way to get creative. Do not let something as replaceable as money, for the love of everything on this planet, do not let something as replaceable as money stand in your way. And I'm not just talking about with me. I'm not talking about you working with me. I'm just talking about at all when it comes to your health and the things that are important to you. You cannot let that be a barrier. Money is replaceable. You can always get more of it. Your health is not. And you are fighting something that needs everything that you can throw at it. Money is replaceable. Your health is not. I will tell you that I serve people right out of lack. And this is what I call it. I call it a lack mentality. We live in lack. I'm guilty of this as well. And I will tell you where I'm guilty. My husband says, you are the cheapest, most expensive person I have ever met. Because there are some things that I am so cheap about. And there are some things like toilet paper. Like I'm super cheap about like consumables like that. I'm like, just buy me the cheapest thing you can find. But when it comes to finding somebody to help me to solve a problem, I'm there. Let's do this. Let's fix this. I don't want this in my life anymore. The only question I have is, do I want that thing in my life or not? No. Can you help me get rid of it? Yes. Okay. Take my money. Let's do this. I believe in you. I trust you. I trust that you can help me. That's the only thing you need to know. Figure the rest out later. You have 100% track record right now of solving problems in your life because you're still here and you're listening. Trust yourself. Trust yourself to make good decisions. It's hard sometimes, I know. But I serve people right out of the lack mentality. The fear of lack of, and I have them listed here, the fear of lack of money, of time. Time is one of our most consumable resources on the planet. How many of you use that all the time? I don't have enough time, right? I don't have enough time to do this. What? Do you think cancer's slowing down because you don't have enough time? Doubt it. Money, of course, is a big resource. Energy. I have people tell me all the time, I'm too sick to do the work. I can't do the work. I will tell you that there are some people in this room, and I won't point them out because I don't want to embarrass them. If they want to point themselves out, that they can. But there are some people in this broadcast tonight that are incredibly sick, and they're doing the work. And if they can do it, you can do it. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to exercise. I don't have the energy to cook. I don't have the blah, blah, blah. The only question you should be asking yourself is, do I want it or do I not want it? And when you make the decision that you don't want it anymore, 100% don't want it anymore. Guess what energy you're feeding? Guess what you create more of, right? The lack of resources. So resources in your support system, resources in your time, resources in your kitchen. Sometimes you got to buy a juicer. Sometimes you got to buy a blender. Sometimes you got to make an investment in organic food. Actually, all the time you got to make that investment. Sometimes you got to do these things. Lack of resources. I have had people that have started with me that said organics are very hard to find in my area, right? There you go, Randy. I love it. Choose life. I have to tell a story about Randy. So Randy is amazing, by the way. Total cancer boss. Amazing. And I asked Randy to do some work a couple weeks ago. I asked Randy to do some work, and the particular exercise is called the Cancer Declaration. And when I got the work back from him, and I can't remember because I don't have his file right in front of me, but it says how to live declaration or something like that. He had changed the verbiage that really suited his mentality and his thought. And I loved it. So, but that's it. Randy is creating more of what he wants, right? He's spending time doing the hard work and creating more of what he wants, which is to not ever have cancer again. Guess what happens? Lack of support. That's a big one. People have lack of support systems. They feel like they're on this on their own. Even if they have people that love them and serve them through this process, they still feel very isolated and very alone. Declaration of life. I love it. Yeah, it was awesome. I just loved it. In fact, I toyed with changing. I was just writing a lesson for that, and I toyed with changing the idea because of inspired by you, but I decided not to because anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, declaration of life. But they feel like they don't have a support system. They feel very isolated and very alone in this process. And cancer can be like that. Even if you have a good support system, it can be very isolating because you feel like nobody knows what you're going through. And even if they have been through it, it's like, well, you don't really know. Like, you're not a professional, so how could you know? I'm sorry. Seriously, just ate dinner. So it creates more of that, and it can feel really frustrating, having lack of support during this journey. So, what I have found is that going on your own does three things. It creates loads of stress. You get an overwhelm and you are spinning. A lot of people come to me already in this phase of their journey. They are in complete overwhelm. They don't know what to trust, what is right, what is wrong, what I should be doing, what I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating. And so they come in and they're in complete overwhelm. And a lot of times they come in and they're taking loads of supplements and loads. And I'm like, who gave you that information to take those supplements? Nothing. I read about it. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that it ends up costing them a ton of money. Like you spend all this time and energy buying all these books and buying all of these supplements. I had one woman that had $2,500 worth of supplements in her kitchen. When she sent me the picture, I was like, where'd you get all those? And it's because she had taken all these little, $50 courses and read, $20 books and everything that she had read. And she had this huge collection of supplements. And she's taking about half of them. And I was like, you're creating more problems than you're helping. So there's a lot of misinformation. You're trusting your health to somebody on Google, somebody that you haven't talked to in person, somebody that doesn't know what kind of cancer you have. Would you allow a doctor? Would you go into a doctor's office and sit down and the doctor never asks you what kind of cancer that you have, but then prescribes you a whole bunch of treatment paths? Would you do that? I don't think so. Makes no sense to me. That's why I work the way that I do. That's why I work one-on-one with my clients to understand their process, to understand what their needs are and how we make the body inhospitable to cancer, because it's different for every single one of you. For what Randy needs, for what Babette needs, for what Anne-Marie needs, for what Jody needs, right? Those are all different things. They're not just one cookie cutter, I got it. One cookie cutter solution. So it requires that I work with them one-on-one to help them solve the problem. And ultimately, one, if they don't have cancer, they're in remission, never have cancer again, they can stop looking over their shoulder. And two, if they have active cancer, let's get rid of it. Ask yourself one question. Do you want to have it or do you not want to? Right? So you're causing loads of stress going it out on your own and using Dr. Google, and you're spending a lot of money on stuff that you don't know if it works or not. And you're shooting an arrow off into the distance, hoping it will hit a target. That is not exciting, and it's dangerous. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to drop a link, right, on how you can get in touch with me if you would like to speak with me personally. The first call is always free with me. It's an assessment call, essentially. I am assessing if I can help you or not. If I can, I will let you know how and how much and how it works and everything. You'll get all that information in that call, but I need to make sure that I can help you. That's how personalized I am. I take my job very seriously. I'm not fixing boo-boos on the knee from falling down from roller skating. We're solving problems. We're kicking cancer's ass. We're making the body inhospitable to cancer. So I'm going to drop a link right here. If you are interested in having that first free call, then here it is right here. You can just click on that link. Did I type it in right? Okay, I did. I did it beforehand, so it wouldn't be like I usually am. So there's that link. Go check it out.